Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the PowerUP podcast, the podcast that provides weekly news and the most interesting gaming topics to get people talking. Today, we have another massive episode where we discuss the games that we have played this year. And for those on YouTube, we would love to hear your answers to any of the questions that we ask in the main topic. But before we start the podcast today, let me introduce my co-host, Ace. How are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Glad to be back. We're here, episode 2. We made it. We're here. It's not just a one and done. We're doing good. Um, I mean, yeah, we're here. What have you been up to this week?
So my week has been pretty good so far. I completed Lies of P on stream. So again, that's one of the games that I will be talking about later on. But I
Mm-hmm.
might as well speak about it now because it's what I've done this week. So
Right.
I actually on purpose did the easiest ending on my first playthrough. Um,
Oh.
because at the end there's a question and I kind of could tell from the answers like what the easiest one was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I rejected, I'd have to fight another thing. I was like, no, yeah, just do what you need to. So like I kind of done the easy way out. Because I know with Bloodborne, once I complete that game, the new game plus was so easy. Like all the bosses were easy. So I'm hoping in the second playthrough of New Game Plus, I'll take the other option and fight the boss when I'm more powerful.
That's
Obviously, I
fair.
won't know the moves, but yeah. So yeah, I chickened out, and I've started New Game Plus now, so I'm up to chapter 4 out of 11 in 2
Yeah.
hours, in 3 hours. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love Lies of P.
You,
What can I say?
yeah, you're a psychopath for replaying that on New Game Plus. Like
Instantly
Souls
as
games
well.
are just not my thing, and you're over here like, yeah, more pain. Bring it.
It's
Fantastic.
easier on New Game Plus. Like on the first time, like I've got 163 deaths on the first run. So far, 5.
Wow.
2 of them are fall damage. Fall damage hates me. Um, my
Wow.
first death actually on that run was fall damage. I was doing so well. Um, yeah, I hated it. But what about you?
That's hilarious.
What have you been doing this week?
Not much. Just yesterday was kind of the first time this week that I sat down and actually played some stuff, and well, it's because of Ragnarok Valhalla dropping, which I'm only a couple runs into, but yeah, I'm in love with it. It's amazing. So I mean, that's what I'll be playing. Mortal Kombat 1 Season 3 comes out this week too, so I got decisions, and I don't like making them, so it'll be stressful.
Just play both at the same time. Just get 2
Yeah, that's
PlayStations, 2 monitors, grow a set of
right.
hands, play both at the same time. Perfect.
Yeah, right. I'll learn how to play with my feet eventually. We'll get there.
Yeah, just have another monitor stacked on top, just like tilt your head, see both.
That's the way to do it.
Honestly, we're creative here on the channel.
Yeah, I mean, we try to be.
hmm So we actually discovered last week that we could actually upload these podcasts onto Spotify. So if you listen to Spotify, the podcast on Spotify last week, I apologize for only really speaking about YouTube. It was like literally last minute discovery that we could post it on Spotify for free. So if you're on Spotify, please follow the podcast. You'll be able to track when we upload. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, hit that notification button, and you'll be also notified when we upload any of the podcasts. So let's quickly skip on to the news. And, well, what a week already.
Yeah,
No more E3 is, I think, the biggest news of the week so far.
for sure. It's sad.
It,
It's
it,
sad. Like it's like a giant falling.
yep. And I remember watching E3 and just being like blown away by like some of the reveals. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's sad to see it go. It feels like so long ago that we had an E3 though, so it feels like it's been cancelled for a very long time. But
Right.
now it's had the
Like,
final dagger.
so I'm gonna be completely honest with you. When I saw like the first tweets and stuff saying that E3 was canceled, I was like, I didn't know it was still happening or still trying to happen.
hmm
Like last time I heard of E3 was when it got canceled due to COVID. So I didn't really know it's still trying to stick around, but it is still sad to see it like done.
Yeah. So I knew it was still trying to be an event,
Right.
because when they cancelled in 2020 because of COVID, they're like, it will be back. Like, obviously, it did an online event in 2021, and then it
Hmm.
obviously another cancellation in 2022 because I'm pretty sure they tried to do it in person in 2022. Um, but yeah, it's just so sad. The ESA's president quoted, "We know it's difficult to say goodbye to such a beloved event, but it's the right thing to do, given the new opportunities our industry has to reach fans and partners." Which I think it's fair. There's no point like trying to push something out there when, I mean, let's be real. Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, they all have their own events now. So like
Right.
PlayStation State of Play, Nintendo Direct. So the reveals that E3 used to do are kind of taken away from them.
Right.
So I understand it, and it's sad. It is just, it used to be the
It
hype moment.
right. It is. But like you said, each console kind of has their own show now. So there's just not enough premieres to go around, and all those consoles and studios obviously want their own premiere on their own show to
Mhm.
take up more time and more spotlight. So it's sad, but it makes sense.
It does. But I just used to love the rivalry and the competition between Sony and Microsoft. Like you'd have like on maybe Friday, you'd have Xbox reveals. You'd be like, "Oh, okay, Xbox, what have you got for us?" And then the next day you have Sony. You're just there like, "Show me." You've got to
Yeah. Right.
beat that. Like
Right.
you've got to beat what they've sent out for everyone to see. And yeah, I just loved it because you'd see people on Twitter like, "Ha, what a game reveal! Sony can't beat this," and then they go, "There you go,
Yeah.
we've beat you," or
God of
vice
War.
versa.
Like
Yeah, basically.
yeah.
But yeah, it's I mean, like an analyst said, it struggled to remain relevant just for the fact that the industry changed. I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
during COVID, like, because obviously everything's went online now. Um, it's so much easier for, and probably cheaper for their own like labels to just do their own um previews, their own
Oh, for
premieres,
sure.
um, and plus they're more separated. So like PlayStation could do one in like September, Xbox could do one in like November. Like they're more spread out, so like you're always excited to see what games are coming out. And then
Right.
you've got like the Summer Games Fest, which I guess is similar to E3.
A
Would
little
you
bit.
say?
Yeah. I mean, it's a collective premiere event like that. Yeah, it's similar.
So I think maybe, I mean, wasn't Jeff the host of E3 as well though? Like at times.
I have no idea. I never watched an E3. I always was just one to look up after E3 had ended, like best E3 trailers.
Hmm.
That's what I did. But
See, I could be completely wrong, completely wrong about that. Um, so yeah, the reason why they cancelled this year was probably because Ubisoft also pulled out. So like,
yeah,
not only did you have like obviously the giants, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, but like you had individual publishers also backing out. So like
right.
in March they cancelled it, and obviously now they've made their full decision to never do an E3, which I think it's the right decision. But let's talk about some amazing moments from E3. There's some incredible ones that they brought to us, and we'll remember them.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
do you want to start off with the first one?
Oh yeah, when God of War got revealed, the North Saga 2018 God of War getting revealed back in 2016. That was that was insane.
The crowd. Like I watched it again,
Hmm.
from like someone's point of view in the crowd, and they're like, "It's God of War. It's God of War." Like, oh my god, it's God of War. And then Kratos came on screen. It's God of War. I told you. And like they were so excited that they were right about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that was insane. And the same with Final Fantasy VII remake in 2015. Like people were saying Final Fantasy, it's Final Fantasy, and then you see Barrett because he's got like a gun to his arm.
Yeah.
You see him walk, and then you see Cloud with that massive sword. You know, you've got to know the
Oh
sword,
yeah.
even if you
Yeah.
don't play the
It's
game.
iconic. Yeah.
you see the sword, and you're like, oh my god, Final Fantasy 7. And you're just there like, wow. That's
Yeah,
something that like they'll miss out on, like in crowd, in person events, like reveals. Like obviously now it's all online. You don't hear the atmosphere like, oh my god. You see people in type
right.
and chat, but it's just not the same.
It is, no, it's not. It's like, I mean, it's similar to like how sports experienced during COVID when they came back with no fans. It's really not the same.
Hmm.
I mean, it truly like the crowd and the atmosphere is almost half of like the sport and the event and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So it is, yeah, it's very weird without it.
Very. And probably the best moment I say of E3, and everyone will know this, when Keanu Reeves popped up with the Cyberpunk 2077 reveal that he was in the game.
Hmm. Yeah. So
And
that's like when I think of E3, that's the main one that pops in my head. Even though God of War is like my favorite game of all time, like that's the moment I think of.
that is the moment. You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking. Like, that's just iconic. Like,
Right.
even people who don't know the Game Awards or like anything E3 or any game trailers, they know that phrase.
Hmm.
It's everywhere. It's like a
Hmm.
sound alert. People have it on their streams now. It's just iconic. And we're gonna miss those iconic moments. I guess you could have them on stage, um, again on an online event, but I just no one's gonna shout on like to them. You're breathtaking for Keanu
Right.
Reeves to say it. So like,
Right.
yeah, unless another event takes over and tries to get them in person. Yeah, it's a sad loss to gaming.
It is for sure. The day before was a game that dropped during the Game Awards. Um, I was really looking forward to it. Like I was researching trailers before a little bit, and the day before was one that I was like, oh, I wish it wasn't just on PC so I could get it.
Hmm.
But I'm glad I couldn't because it took 4 days, and the company announced Fantastic. They announced that they're shutting down, and it is like one of the worst reviewed games of all time, and it is a shit show of a situation. Millions of people like put that on their wish list. Like a bunch of people bought it day one, and yeah, it's so sketchy. It seems really scummy. Like even it got taken off of Steam too, December 11th. Like not only did the company shut down, but the game is just off Steam now too. It's just
You think after 2 years in development, like you'll know whether to release the game or not. I guess in a sense, they had no pre-orders or crowdfunding campaigns, so like
yeah.
maybe they just needed the extra funding to like get the game finished. But if you just like as a developing company, if you just say like we're struggling financially, we need your support, we're getting a crowdfund together. Uh, we're obviously going to push the game back just so we can get the final product to you all and
Hmm.
it's in the right shape. Instead, they release it, and the amount of bad reviews, the amount of refunds, they just couldn't sustain it.
Right. And I don't know if you've read their like apology, like their closing letter, but it's so I want to say like passive aggressive, but it's also like guilt tripping in a sense.
Like, this is
I,
your
like
fault.
because they're like, yeah, I mean, like you said, they're like, oh, we never had public money or crowdfunding or nothing, and we like just couldn't have the financial success. We wanted to bring you guys more content, but we haven't gotten the purchases and all that. It's like, well, you released a half baked game. Like, what did you expect? And
Hmm.
I mean, you bring up a good point. Like, just ask. Like, I think that's the point. The crowd, like, we would definitely rather crowdfund a game and get a better product at the end, wait longer than for this to happen. Because now they're just completely shut down. They won't make anything again.
Exactly. So, like, instead of having a game maybe a year's time, instead, like, delay it for a year and even like have pre-orders because obviously I think they
Hmm.
get the money from the pre-orders straight away. Like that could have been the backbone, like to keep the company, the studio running. But I guess, I guess with these smaller companies, if they make a mistake like this, it's kind of it is bad. Like They
Yeah.
don't have the financial funding like a Rockstar does. If they
Right.
fail with a game, oh well, we get bad reputation. They'll forget about it. We have GTA. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
with this type of studio, if you miss, that's it. So you
Yeah.
kind
Like
of got
missed
to
this
hit.
bad too.
You got to hit on the first one. If you get this amount of like wish lists, this amount of anticipation, you've got to provide. And that's the
Yeah.
bad thing. Like you don't have any second chances in the gaming industry, unfortunately. Because people will just refund, and obviously, if you think that your game's gonna do well and it doesn't, then you're kind of in the mud. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Well, at least like the very least, like one good thing about it, like I was just doing more research on it last night, and according to Game Informer, I don't know how to say it, Mitona. Anyway, the publisher of the game, not the dev team, they are working with Steam to just offer full refunds past Steam's. I think it's like what 14 days and less than 2 hours playtime.
Yep.
They are they're working on offering just full refunds no matter how much you played it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing that they can do. But on the other side of things, DayZ posted on Twitter because it's been there 10 years as like a studio, as a game. Uh, they poked fun at the
Oh yeah.
game. And one of their last things was 2023, 10 years and still undefeated. Dead game, DayZ team. Like that. Oh, that is bad,
Yeah.
but funny at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah. It's hilarious. I find it funny, but I mean, it is scummy. Like what Fantastic did. I don't know. It just it doesn't sit right. So I mean, it's kind of nice that Daisy just spoke up and poked fun at him.
Oh yeah,
So
and I just love the fact that in their tweet they put in brackets. Today we want to primarily celebrate for no reason at all.
I didn't see that the first time.
It's like you're really like that's a low blow to this company. Like they're only a small studio. You've just killed them, man. You've just absolutely destroyed their
Oh
hopes and
my.
dreams. But yeah, that like
Oh
their comment section as well was like, you still need to fix your game. So people are still out in DayZ, but still, I found that tweet funny because you know
yeah, that's hilarious.
you gotta laugh at the bad situations at times, and DayZ have provided the comedy for this one.
Hmm. Yeah. Shout out to Daisy. That's hilarious.
Okay, moving on to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium games that were announced literally just an hour ago. So if you're a subscriber to the Extra service, you'll get the following games. You'll get Grand Theft Auto 5, very fitting since Grand Theft Auto 6 has just been revealed in the trailer. You'll get Stranger of Paradise, a Final Fantasy Origin, MotoGP, Metal Hellsinger, Salt and Sacrifice, Moon Scars, Mega Man 11, Gigabash, Grime, Tinykin, Proteus, Shadowrun Returns, Shadowrun Daggerfall Director's Cut, and Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition. So, a variety of games there that you can
Yeah.
add to your library.
Yeah. It's a good chunk there. I mean, PS Plus Extra. I mean, it's getting better. It's not. We mentioned it last week too. It's not no Game Pass yet, but it's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, at least I'll be able to get PS5 GTA 5 for free now. I don't have to pay for the upgrade, so I can finally do the campaign. But
Yeah, you literally mentioned that you haven't completed it, so you have no excuse now.
yeah, I know, which I
Complete
don't
it.
like.
And then for premium, you get some other games. You get Mega Man Legacy Collection, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, Thrillville, Thrillville Off the Rails, and Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. So a few classic games in there as well if you have got the premium edition. Nothing that takes my fancy in the premium edition. Not gonna
I mean,
lie.
I didn't know Buzz Lightyear had a game. That's kind of wild. Although it's on
PS
the PS1.
PS1, PS2 games, Buzz
Yeah,
Lightyear.
yeah, that's
They already
wild.
have a Buzz Lightyear game on PlayStation Plus. So I think this is the second one.
Wow, bro got 2 games. That's wild.
Woo.
Also, some other news. I mean, games sales, same diff. Earlier this year, Steam announced the first set of its 2024 sales. They're doing a bunch of theme sales, which I think is super cool. We got the Capitalism and Economy Fest, which is January 8th to 15th. They have the Pirates vs. Ninjas Fest, January 22nd through the 29th. Next Fest, February 5th through the 12th. They got Dinos vs. Robots Fest, which is February 26th to March 4th, and then the Deck Builders Fest, which is March 25th through April 1st. And then they also announced their big, like, Holy Grail sale a little bit, the spring sale, March 14th through the 21st, a whole week of that. So I don't personally have Steam. I know you do.
Mm-hmm.
So how significant is all of this?
To be honest, the small themed events, they probably have like one big game and then a lot of like the indie games type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of interested to see like what they do because it seems like there's a lot of verses.
Right.
So it'll be cool to see what games they add into them.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the big one is the spring sale. That always has a lot of big games in there. Again, I don't
Yeah.
really buy from Steam. I'm more of just if there's a free game, I get it. But for Steam, my PC is mainly for just streaming, mainly for content. I don't really play
Right.
video games on my PC. So, the next news is also PC related. Again, I mentioned this last week. Epic, and the free games. So the first free game up for grabs is the Destiny 2 Legacy Collection, a bundle which has The Witch Queen, The Beyond Light, and Shadowkeep. And you've got until the 19th of December to actually claim it. Again, before you claim it though, you need Destiny 2 base game. The base game is free, so search Destiny 2, get the base game, and then go to collect the Legacy Collection. Because if you go to the Legacy Collection first, then you haven't claimed Destiny 2, it won't be available. It says requires base game. So before you waste your time to go on it first, go to Destiny 2. And then, as well as the free games, if you check out above £11.99, so £12 and $15, you get a 33% off coupon. And there's tons of sales anyway. So there's a game, I can't remember what it was, but it was 50% off. If you add the 33% off, you actually reduce it from £60 to £20, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
that's amazing.
ridiculously cheap. I think it was the Crew Motorfest, which has been out for like
Oh,
two
okay.
months, which is
Yeah.
insane. There's a lot of games like it as well that are £60 reduced to
Right.
£30, and then you can reduce it even more. So do it, and
Yeah.
it's endless. You get this 33% off once, you redeem it, you get another one, so you can keep doing it over and over again. And I don't know
Wow.
if you know about the rewards program.
Mm-mm. I do not.
You get some balance back with every purchase. They're
Okay.
doubling it from 5% to 10% back while the sale is running. So not only are you buying games for cheap, you're also getting a lot back, which you could buy more games with. So I think
Yeah.
Epic are just doing this for growth. Like they're not doing it for
Oh,
money.
for
Like
sure.
they're giving you the games. Like that's
For sure.
incredible. PlayStation, please, I need it.
Yeah. Right. If only. If only.
If only. This week, we're adding a new segment that we will introduce in every single podcast from now on, and it's Release of the Week. So, here we will explain what games that we're choosing that have released in the following week or this week to like make public, really. So, Ace, what is your Release of the Week?
My big one, I had two to choose from, but because it's the only one that's actually out right now, God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, I talked about it a little bit earlier. It's the roguelite DLC to Ragnarok, and I didn't know going into it if it was going to be like a shallow, like pretty much just roguelite beat 'em up, but there is a big overlying story, and I'm excited to just keep playing it and unfold that. I'm only like an hour into it, if that, and I'm already blown away and very like happy. Santa Monica just seems to be able to do whatever they want and nail it. So, what about you though? What are you eyeing up this week?
So, my release of the week is a PC only game. It had been in early access for 2 years, and now it is finally out. And it was announced in the Game Awards last week. Ready or Not, the SWAT game, which is very tactical. It reminds me a lot of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 campaign mission, where
Oh, okay.
you have to storm the house, and it's really
Mm-hmm.
tactical. It reminds me a lot of that, and I had a lot of fun playing that game. And I'm pretty sure this one is co-op, so you can play
Oh
with
wow.
friends.
Oh wow.
And
That'll be good.
again, one of the main points that we brought up last week, that you brought up more, was gaming is supposed to bring people together, and I think this
Right.
game will do it.
Yeah.
I think
For
this game
sure.
will do it. So I think the price went up from £30 for early access to £45 now, respective to what it is in the US with dollars. So it has
Right.
gone up in price. So if you were lucky enough to get it in early access, I'm pretty sure you get to keep the game in full
I
release.
would.
If not,
I would assume
that's a
so.
bit shady. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my release of the week.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's a good week. Good week for
Very good
eating.
week.
All right. So to the main topic of the podcast today, we got our year in review. Um, Kind of along that lines, PlayStation and Xbox both released their wrap up. Revealed a lot of stuff in there. I mean, they broke it down by month, like what was your most played game by month. I mean, how many trophies you earned, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, the big one. What was your most played game this year?
I'm not so sure. I'm okay with my most played game, to be honest. It was only released 2 months ago, and it's already my most played game, and that's EAFC. Um, yeah, I played that a lot. I guess I played it a lot because my friends got it, and we were just playing Ultimate Team. We played a bit of clubs, but not too much.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I've been invested in Ultimate Team, and I've been playing like my dailies every day, but like that's like 2 hours, isn't it? So 2 hours,
yeah.
and then some days even longer. So yeah, EAFC is my most played game, even though the gameplay is terrible, man. It's so bad. It's probably
Bashing it,
the
but it's your most played game.
yeah, it's gotta be like one of the worst gameplays. Like I hate the play styles of people. Like there's some good
Oh,
aspects of it. Like there's more players in
right.
the game. The promos are insane. Um, but like just the gameplay, it's terrible, man. It's terrible.
Yeah,
Don't know why I play it so much.
yeah.
So what
I
was
mean,
yours? What was your most played game?
mine's. I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Like, I'm not exactly proud of it. Like, I wasn't, I wasn't like, yeah, let's go. It's Smite. Smite was my most played game. It got carried by the start of the year where I was grinding it. I mean, January and February. I had, we talked about it before. I had like 80 plus hours both those months with it, and then I just have been switching it up like the rest of the year, so nothing has really gotten there. I mean, Mortal Kombat is close, like it is very close, but it sadly is Smite.
So that was a surprise for you because I kind of gathered from me that EAFC was going to be my most played. So was Smite a
Yeah.
surprise?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was shocked. Like it was like most played game. Like the thing came up, and I was like Mortal Kombat 1, and then it brought up a picture of Smite. I was like, the fuck?
You
I was
were
like,
just like
excuse me?
PlayStation's like, yeah, it might have been your most fun game.
Yeah, right.
Do you want to go into that one?
I mean, yeah. I mean that we have our topics listed here. Most fun game for me. I mean, it was Mortal Kombat. That's why I put so many hours into it. Definitely wasn't Smite. I'll tell you that. I had way more fun playing Mortal Kombat, but I mean, it only came out a couple months ago, so
So
I wasn't grinding.
what about Mortal Kombat? Which made it fun.
I don't know. I just like the fighting game. I love all the characters, the style. The story is always the biggest thing that draws me to it.
Hmm.
Which the campaign in this one is really good. I love that they reset the timeline too, so it like feels like you don't have to play the previous 11 games.
Hmm.
Um, and then the invasions mode, which is essentially just a top-down board game version of Mortal Kombat. Like
Okay.
you go to different little nodes and do fights, and then it tells a story over time each season, which is I mean I love it. You get cosmetics, seasonal cosmetics, that kind of stuff. So it has a lot of replayability compared to other years where it's just new towers every day. It's like a full on new season. So yeah, it's I love it. I'm gonna be playing it probably all this year too. So I'll be keeping up with it.
So, most played game of 2024, Mortal Kombat 1. You've heard it here first. If it's not, then something something went wrong.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Well, what about you though? What was most fun to you this year?
So mine's gonna surprise a lot of people. So I played it on stream. I got it on Platinum as well, and it was one of the PlayStation Plus games for I think it was August. I was PJ Tour 2K23. Now, I'm not a
It's-
golfer. I'm not a
yeah.
golfer. I'm not good at golf. I like the mini golf. I love mini golf. I'm really
Right.
competitive. But like I think what made this game fun was I had a group of people who were playing it with me. I played it online with friends, so like there was four of us just playing constantly. And we could play real life courses. So like around mine, it was remade, like a golf course around mine. So we played that one. We played some of like the best ones. But then there was also fantasy custom made golf courses,
Yep.
which were incredible. Like the people who designed them, I even asked on Reddit for suggestions on which ones to play. So we played like a Last of Us 2 custom made course, and they were just so fun. Like the
That's
game
wild.
was incredible. The like the career mode was repetitive. You had to
Yeah.
win all of the stuff to get the platinum, so I had to do it. But honestly, online, it was probably why it was the most fun game for me in
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah, I get that. Me and my brother Ethan, we played. I want to say it was 2K21. Whenever they came back to 2K,
Mm-hmm.
PJ made their first 2K game. This new stretch, we played it. We did the same thing. They had the creator maps, but people were not that good at it when it first came out. Like
Yeah.
the maps we played, there were just a bunch of alligators like around the green, and if you hit them, they'd just flop over. Like that was the most fun you could have in that game.
Oh my god.
So I do get why PGA was fun to you because I hate golfing in real life. Like I
Mhm.
same as you. I like mini golfing, but real golfing, hate it. Um, but I don't know. It's just fun.
It was, and those who made custom maps in 2K21, you could upload it to 2K23. So
Oh, that's cool.
the custom maps that you played in that game were probably in 2K23. So
Right.
the people who made them didn't lose out, which I think's
Yeah,
good because you don't want to
it is.
make your own map again and again and again. But like the people who just play them can find their old ones and just play them as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
I think just the replayability, like you could just play golf and it was fun. And some of the courses were a challenge. Like you would
Mm-hmm.
just get so annoyed. Yeah, it was great. It was good fun.
Yeah.
But
But
the next one, so basically what we're trying to do, instead of just us talking about what games we played, which is a lot, we're kind of putting them into categories because it's a lot easier to talk about.
right.
Because I could talk about all 20 or 41 games apparently that I played in 2023, but that's just not exactly the most fun way to listen to it. So
Right.
we've got categories. So obviously we've done the first two, but the next one is hardest game to play in 2023. Now, this isn't exactly like the least fun game because it could be hard but still fun.
Right.
But I want to know what was your hardest game that you played.
Well, it was the first time I ever tried a Souls-like game, and I tried Bloodborne out of all the ones to
Ooh,
try.
my first one
I
too.
think I got about an hour into it, and I don't like saying this, but I did quit. So I just haven't gone back to it. It's just like yes, it's hard. It's not the part that entirely gets me. Um, I just I do not like games where you have to get to a certain point to save and that type of stuff. Like I mean, that's why I stopped playing Jedi or the first Star Wars game of
Fallen Order.
the new set Fallen Order. Thank you. I just didn't like having to get to a spot because I got a lot of stuff that goes on, and I just like being able to pop in, drop in, and just pop out as much as I can. So
Mhm.
there was multiple things. Yes, it was hard. So that, I mean, it made me upset that I don't like raging at games anymore. So,
Oh,
but
that's
I
brilliant.
tried it. I do appreciate. I know why people love it. I can see why people love it. So, what about you though?
I'm one of those people that love it. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was my
Yeah.
first Souls game, and yeah, it's hard. Um, but I did 18 hours of that to start it.
Wow.
Did
You
you
poor thing.
did you fight the first boss, Papa before the Gascoigne?
I mm, I don't know. The when I stopped, I encountered something on the bridge, like this huge, I don't know, massive thing on the bridge.
Okay, so you didn't even get to Papa G. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I beat that boss on the bridge first try, just to rub it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We talked about this. I don't know when we talked about it, but because it's also optional. That boss on the bridge
Yeah,
is optional, isn't it?
it's
Yeah,
optional.
fantastic. Um, love it. Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for my hardest game, it's the one I mentioned at the start of the podcast. Lies of P. Again, another Souls-like game. Lies of P. I died 163 times. However, it could have been harder. With Bloodborne, I didn't want to get the Spectre in. Like I didn't want help. So like in Bloodborne, you can ring a bell and you get like a friend that spawns in, and it can take some aggro at the boss. Lies of P.
Okay.
I think it was like the third boss. I was like, you know what? I'm doing a 24-hour stream. Do I want to get stuck on a boss? No. Do I want to have fun? Yes. So I did get the Spectre in pretty much most fights. So it was easier for me, but still, like, that doesn't take away from the hardness at
Right.
some parts. Like some of the parts were incredibly difficult. One of the second to last boss that I fought still took me 14 attempts, even with the
Well,
Spectre. So yeah.
I mean, and in my opinion, too, using the Spectre, I don't think it really takes away from your playthrough because at the end of the day, you're trying to have fun.
hmm
So you play it whichever way you see fit.
It just makes it a lot easier. Like
Yeah.
if you use them to your advantage, like in at the end there's something called a cube. Um and if you use the cube, you can like revive some of their health, like restore some of their health. Um
Mhm.
I used that in one of the fights. So if they were like getting low, I'll just walk away, let them tank, but then use that so they got like 80% of the health back, and then I went back
Oh,
into the
nice.
fight. So like they aggroed for longer so that I could take just cheap hits. And I'm
Right.
one of those people, like in this game, I just used everything. If I went to the merchant, I bought every single throwable item that was useful, and I would just sit there miles away, yeet,
Yeah.
yeet, like just not taking damage. So yeah, I played ratty. I don't even
Yeah.
care, but I
I mean,
enjoyed
as long
it.
as you had fun, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's the point.
People can say on stream like, "Oh, you're not playing the game properly." What's properly?
Right.
What
It's
is
not.
properly?
There's not a set way to play any game ever
hmm
made. Like it's all to what you want to do and what makes it fun for you. So
hmm
for sure.
So on to the next like award. What was the easiest game that you played this year?
Easiest game that I played this year, definitely Stray. It was what I played early on in the year. I didn't play too many games. I mean, let's see, my official count. I think it's like it probably counts around to like 9 or 10 games that I played this year. I didn't switch it up too much, but Stray, it's an amazing game. It's short, but I mean, it was easy. It was
hmm
simple, but doesn't take anything away from it. I loved it. So I mean, compared to Bloodborne, you know, I'll take Stray over Bloodborne. That might be a hot take, but
Oh my goodness. Did you platinum it at least? Did you platinum
no,
Stray? You Wow.
I have not.
Are you going to? It's pretty simple.
I probably should. It'd be fun. I'm
There's
sure. I think speedrunning it would be pretty cool.
Oh, it is
So,
because like the trophy to speedrun it is in 2 hours. Like you've got to complete the
mhm.
game in under 2 hours. In the end, when I did it, like I just played the game straight away after finishing. It took me an hour and 45.
Yeah,
And that's with me taking some wrong routes at times and getting caught. So definitely could have optimized. But yeah,
right.
I agree. Like Stray is. it's one of those games which is really easy, but like so fun at the same time.
It
You're a
is.
cat.
Right. It's so cute. It's so adorable. I don't know. It's an amazing game.
I agree. I actually replayed that as well this year, but that's not my easiest game. My easiest game is Ape Escape. And I mean it's my easiest because I played it so much as a kid. Like that was my like
Oh, okay.
PS1 childhood game was Ape Escape. So when I realized it was on PlayStation, I bought it, like PS4. I bought it, played it then, and then it came out on like the PlayStation Plus thing, and I was
Hmm.
well, actually no, that's when I bought it. Was when it came on the PlayStation Plus thing. I got it then, and then this year I played it again on the PS5 one, and platinumed it again. So I think I've got
Jesus,
3 platinums of Ape Escape.
that's wild. Um, I'm gonna break your heart a little bit here. What is Ape Escape?
So you're basically playing as a person who you're a kid, and this doc is generated a time machine, but apes are taken over. So
Okay.
you've got to capture them with your net, and
Okay.
in some levels you've got to capture 3 monkeys to go into the next one. And it's like a
Mhm.
platformer.
Okay.
Um, some of the monkeys are harder to like get, so you've got to whack them with your bat to like knock them over and then hit them with your net. It's pretty fun. Obviously,
Yeah.
RSPCA would not approve of this game. But yeah,
Rightfully so.
you just time travel. So like, I think the first one is like Jurassic.
Oh
So
wow.
you're in like the Jurassic. There's dinosaurs. Then there's like the futuristic. There's the Ice Age. Like there's just just so cool. I love it. Again,
Yeah.
I think it's the easiest. Again, I platinumed it again.
Yeah. Well, now the big one. Big one. But worst game. I mean, it's a heavy one. That's what I was trying to say. Because it's hard to award a game like worst because it just sounds bad.
hmm
But I mean, what in your opinion was the worst one you played this year?
I want to just add some context to the game that I'm awarding my worst game of the year. Uh, During my birthday stream, I did 12 hours and I played 4 children's game. Uh, so Peppa Pig is my worst game of the year. It honestly, I it was bad. It was terrible. It's a really easy platinum though. So if you ever want to platinum a game which is
Oh
easy,
my god!
Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig
If
is
I
the
ever
one for you.
if you ever see my account playing Peppa Pig, like call me up, call the nearest doctor, like make sure I'm okay. I did not ever want to touch a Peppa Pig game. That just sound
It was
yeah,
good stream
it makes
content.
sense.
It was good stream content because I also played
Yeah.
My Little Pony. But that was actually a good game though. It was actually for what it was a decent game. It was a lot better than Peppa Pig. I also played PJ Masks, which was very repetitive but okay, like okay
Yeah.
platformer. And then Paw Patrol was actually quite fun as well. I can't lie. But yeah, Peppa Pig
Wait,
was the worst game then.
what genre, like what style of game is it, this Peppa Pig? Like
It's just a kids
what
game.
was
Like
it?
you basically it's like a 2D game in a 3D environment.
Okay.
Like you walk to the left and then you go up the hill, you go inside the house, like you click X, you can go all the way to the left side of the screen and then you're in another environment. There's one point where you have to get in a hot air balloon and that navigates you to the mountains and then you just walk to the like basically it's a 2D platformer in 3D.
Gotcha. That yeah, sounds fantastic. Glad you played it.
I never have to play it again, and it's one of those like
That's fair.
I played Peppa Pig. It was free. All those games that I played were on PlayStation Plus. That's why I did it.
That's fair.
It
Yeah,
was a
that's
fun
fair.
thing for me to do. I would
And again,
never ever buy them games like if out of
yeah,
my own money. Like that's just not financially acceptable in my
yeah,
eyes for me.
yeah, for sure.
Let's move on away from Peppa Pig because getting a little embarrassed here. Um, a game that wouldn't embarrass me was a game that I'd play again in the future, but I'm gonna ask you first because I don't want to just directly ask the question and answer it myself. So, what game would you most likely replay in the future?
I think Ragnarok Valhalla, for sure. If
You've not even
it,
completed it
I
yet.
know, I know, but if it is like a replayable story, like if it is something that when you're finished, I'm sure it is. I hope it doesn't just like steep off where it's like, oh, you've beaten the story now, you can just go through and just keep beating it. Um, like I could see myself replaying through it because there's so many different like paths and ways you can upgrade and that kind of thing. There's a lot to it. And like I mentioned earlier, God of War being my favorite game, like
Mhm.
I definitely want to play that as much as I can. So, what about you though? What are you probably gonna be replaying?
So I only played this game once this year because I was completing it into 2023.
Right,
So it nearly didn't meet the criteria of playing it in 2023, but it's Cyberpunk 2077, and I know I kind of you know said bad about it last week about how it
yeah,
was a bad game, and it shouldn't have got the best ongoing award. But that doesn't mean like I wouldn't want to replay it again. So I completed it once. I've got many endings to go through. But I've seen the update that they've done, the 2.0. It's a completely different game to what I played. So it'll be
yeah,
basically playing it for the first time again. Obviously I know the storyline and
right,
maybe like it'll be different because there's many endings, I think. Um so like I could get a different ending than the time I played it first. And then also like my playstyle would be completely different because the new
right.
things that they've added. But I think I'll replay it once the DLC comes out. So I'll probably replay the main game, try and get many trophies that I missed the first time round, and then also play the DLC. Um,
Right.
so I think that's my plan for the future. But yeah, Cyberpunk 2077. That it takes the most likely to replay again for me.
That's right.
Have you ever
It'll be a
played
good
it?
one. I have not.
Do you think you will?
Yeah, for sure. It's. I mean, it, we mentioned it last week. Backlogs are incredible. They're huge, and it's one that's on there. So it's one I definitely got to get around to, and hopefully, uh, the podcast will give me a reason to go out play more single player games and actually finish them. So
Hmm.
that's my biggest issue is starting them and not finishing them. So, but yeah, I do plan on playing it.
No, that
So
makes a lot of sense. So hopefully you play Cyberpunk, I play God of War, and then we
yeah,
can't we can't talk about it ever again. Like, because
yeah,
I need to play God
you
of War.
got to get to God of War
I know.
like yesterday. You Oh, they're so good. They're so good. And then you'll have Valhalla to play after you beat Ragnarok, which is ah, so good.
Easy.
Those
I
games
need to
are
play the
just.
first one first, mate.
I know
Uh,
you got to get 2018 down. Yeah, I know. I know.
I've got to play both of the games, but again, that could be 2024 year in review.
Oh, for sure. Which hopefully will be a lot bigger. Well, in terms of my catalog, hopefully that'll be a lot bigger.
Mhm.
Still gonna have Mortal Kombat 1 in it for sure, but it'll
I'm gonna
you know
keep you on that. That if Mortal Kombat 1 isn't in it next year, we've got to mention it.
if you remember it, if I don't mention it and you remember that I was supposed to, I'll be impressed
Hmm.
for sure. But
Oh, okay. So before we get into the next one, if anyone in the comment section on YouTube, or if you want to just email us your answers, we would love to see what people would put for these. And I'll put them in the description, what categories that we have, so that you can like put your own next to it. We would just love to see what games you played this year, because again, we're a gaming podcast. We want to be as collaborative as possible. And
mhm.
while you're at it, don't forget to sub if you're on YouTube. Don't forget to follow the podcast if you're on Spotify. And again, if you're on YouTube, you can like it. You can like this podcast right now. So any support would be greatly appreciated. Any comments, any questions, again, would be very appreciated. We will answer literally everything on this channel. So
Yeah.
moving on to the next one. The game with the best story.
Yeah. For me, pretty easy. Spider-Man 2, as you can see, wearing the shirt. I got the shirt of it, but yeah, that was a day one purchase. Yeah, I that's what the story does. It literally leaves you speechless. It's amazing in every way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from start to finish. The the like third act is a tiny bit rushed. That is like the
Mm-hmm.
only mark it has on it, but otherwise it is so good. It is so amazing, and like it's obviously your typical superhero storyline, but it's also got some hearty stuff in there, like the first one. I mean, the first one had that
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yep.
But I do want to say though that because I'm only an hour into Valhalla, like that could beat it. The way the story is going,
Yep.
I feel like there's going to be something huge. There's going to be a huge payoff at the end of it, and depending on that, it could easily take over Spider-Man 2. So I just wanted to say that. But
You just anywhere that you can fit in God of War, you're just there like, yeah, I'll put it in here, I'll put it in there. Ace is obsessed with God of War. So
I love it.
if you're a friend of Ace in real life, you know Christmas presents and birthday presents,
Oh, for
just
sure.
God of War related.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God of War, Mortal Kombat, like easy to shop for sure.
Fair
What
enough.
about you though? What story had you like at the edge of your seat?
Edge of my seat, and I didn't really like this game ended in a different way to how most games end, and it surprised me. And at first I didn't know how to like kind of react. I was a bit
Yeah.
disapproving of how this game ended, but it's Ghost of Tsushima. Um, like there's a lot of good plot twists. There's a lot of good story. The main story itself is pretty short. Like if you just run
Really?
right through the main game, I'm pretty sure you could do it really quickly. But the side tales of the people that are like kind of helping you
Mm-hmm.
take back Tsushima. So they have like tale 1 of 9. You do all the tales and it's basically its own like story inside a story.
That's cool.
So like you learn about the character. You also learn like other stuff about the island and stuff like that. Like they don't feel like side stuff. They feel like part of the main story themselves. Because obviously when you go into the main like acts and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
like you know who you're fighting with. It gives you a bit more of a backbone. Like, oh yeah, I want to fight for this person. They're helping me.
Right.
And like the struggle that they've been on, the war that they're on. So like yeah, Ghost of Tsushima to me has the best story out of all the games I played, and I guess a close runner up would be Mass Effect 1. Um, but yeah, I think out of the story games I played, Ghost of Tsushima just knocks out
Yeah.
knocks it out the
That's
park.
fair.
And I'm
That's another
surprised it
one that.
took me so long to play, man. It took me so long.
Yeah. I still haven't finished, but I uh I think I maybe got to Act 2 when I stopped, but
Hmm.
it's another one I got to go back and finish. It's the combat style is a little iffy for me.
Hmm.
I'm not one that is super into parrying, which I was worried about. I know, literally proving your point, but God of War has parrying.
Oh
So,
no.
which
Oh.
it's fine. I'm like getting more used to it. But when I started playing Ghost of Tsushima, I I could not handle it.
Hmm.
It was so bad at it. I'm much more of a button mash and just dodge. Like that's like my combat style. So
And
Spider-Man 2
that's
is so
why you
fun to me.
love Spider-Man.
Yep, yep,
Square, 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 square. Maybe a dodge. Square, square.
yeah, right. Yep,
Oh,
exactly.
the
I mean, I
issue
said it
with
last week. I'm simple.
yeah, the issue with your best story game because it's so new. Like you have to be careful with what you say. Like I know I
Right.
haven't played it. Like I reckon you've got so much more to say on Spider-Man 2, which you just
Yeah.
can't. And I'm sorry about
Mm-hmm.
that. And I'm sure people out there would love to hear like your opinions on it. Maybe once I get to play it, we could do like our own review on it. Like if
Right.
people want to hear our gaming reviews, if we've played a game that we've like collectively played, and we thought, you know what, let's do a review. Maybe that could be a side content on the channel. Is that like as well as the podcast, the weekly podcast?
Right.
Let's say, a game that was getting released that we both want to play. Maybe Avatar. We
Yeah.
both play it. We both at the end come together. We give a little review on it. It wouldn't be as long as a podcast, but it's something that we could add on and put it in the
Right.
podcast channel, of course. Um,
Right.
but yeah, let us know in the comments. Let us know if you would like to see some game reviews here on the channel.
Sure.
Okay, so not gonna lie, couldn't think of any more categories. So the category is other mentionable games. So
Yeah.
were there any games that weren't listed in the like awards type thing for you?
Yeah. I'm gonna call you out a little bit here. You did skip over me when it came to worst game. So I'll mention it here now. Maneater.
Damn.
Maneater was my worst game. Not that it's a bad game. I actually really enjoyed it. It's a simple game, but there are a lot of flaws to it.
Mm-hmm.
And just out of the ones that I played, it's the worst. It's like I still gave it a 7 on IGN playlist, which by the way, I don't know if you have IGN playlist. Should be something you get. It's it's just a rating platform. I mean through IGN.
Mm-hmm.
But and then also I replayed South Park Stick of Truth, like my third time playing through it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I love that game. The comedy in that game and the story is actually like it's good. It's good for a South Park game. Like South Park is just silly. So when I saw they made a game, I like bought it expecting just silly things, but it's actually pretty damn good in its own right. But yeah, that was pretty much it for me. What about you though? What other like notable games did you play this year?
So I just want to apologize. I completely did not realize I skipped out your worst game. I think it's because you introduced it,
Yeah,
and
for
we
sure.
spoke a lot about it before the podcast about what your worst game was, because we both were like, it's a bit harsh saying it's the worst game, because obviously
Right.
you said it was still good. So apologies if people wanted to know that. Luckily, Ace is still on 2. You know, it's been a long day for me. Ace has only
Yeah.
just woke up. Time zones
Yeah.
are fantastic.
They're
Um,
amazing.
but yeah, before I move on to mine though, are you ever gonna play South Park: The Fractured Butthole?
Yeah, I've started it twice.
You started it.
I started it when it came out, and then also um I was when I had a little streaming run like mid year, I was playing it on there too, and I got further into it that time. But I still just haven't finished it. It's completely different combat
Ah,
style,
okay.
which is like their thing going over because they have the third game coming out. I don't know when, but it's soonish, and that is like completely different style of game. Um, so I didn't really like the combat style in 2 compared to 1, which I think is one of the biggest reasons. So, but I will probably play it when the third one gets close to coming out, just to refresh everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
That makes sense. There's a lot of games which just push to the side and then just forget about it. You seem to have
right.
more than me, but you know, I won't call you out like that. That's not what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, for my games, I have some interesting ones.
Hmm.
I'll mention Apex Legends first. So I do love my battle royales. I played quite a bit of Apex this year. And that was mainly because I went in person to see the ALGS championships that were hosted in Birmingham this year. And I know we spoke about it 2 days ago when my cats brought down the Christmas tree and I couldn't sleep. Um, yeah, I went to Apex, watched it live, went with someone I met on Twitch. But they had to go home early. I'm still sad about that because it was first time was meeting and we had a good time on the
Oh,
first day. Um, so the second and third day that I was there, because I only went for the first 3 days. After that was a bit more expensive. It was going to be like £100
yeah.
for Saturday and Sunday, plus
Oh
like
wow.
an extra £100 for the hotel, and like to watch Apex. I was like, I can see more Apex on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday than I can if I go Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
So I went the first 3 days, watched a lot of Apex, really enjoyed it. it made me understand why people go to like esports events.
Right.
Just like sporting events. Like you get into it, see wild moments in person. You're like, oh my
Yeah.
god. Um, and I met TSM. So in the meet and greet, I said hello to them. I
That's
met the
dub.
met the best players in the world. As much as I'm an Optic fan, and I did tell them that, I felt so bad afterwards. I was nervous. Like I get really nervous, and I'm uncomfortable around people that are like somewhat famous. So like,
Right. Yeah.
even though they probably don't care, like they probably
Right.
want to make me just the people around there like comfortable. Like they're just there to have a good time and meet people.
Right.
I still get nervous about what I was saying, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm an Optic fan." I was like, "Yeah."
Fumbled the bag on that one.
I still expected them to win the event though, and they did.
Yeah.
So I should have said that to them. Like, I still expect you to win, but obviously I'm an Optic fan, so I'll cheer them on as well. Um, so yeah, fumble the bag, and then my other honorable mentions. One of my most played games that I was surprised wasn't first, if it was an FC. Final Fantasy 14. Um, I've played through pretty much the whole of A Realm Reborn, which is like the first 2.0.
Yeah.
Still have a lot to do. I've got over 200 hours in that game. Still haven't completed like
Wow.
the base game.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you've looked at the platinum for that, that's over 1,000-hour platinum, and I will do it. I will get that platinum, and I'll keep you all updated. Keep you all
So
updated on that
that'll be on our 2025 year review. So
and the rest. Uh,
yeah.
and then a more recent game I played in October, because obviously you got to play spooky games in October.
Right. Have to.
Callisto Protocol. Have you ever played Dead Space?
No, actually,
Okay.
but that's another one that I want because I know they made the remake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of waiting for its price to come down because it's still like new game priced. So I'm waiting for it, but I do want to play it. I'm also
Mm-hmm.
just not too into spooky games. I like when it comes to horror games, I like more of like the Dark Pictures games, like
Yeah.
ones that are more adventure horror rather than like horror shooters.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the horror shooters are better because you can defend yourself. I've played the likes of Amnesia and Outlast. Outlast I didn't find too scary, but Amnesia, like there's times where you can't defend yourself. Like
yeah,
Visage as well. Visage, you're literally in a house, and like that's the scariest game I've ever played. The ones where you can't
really,
defend yourself is when I feel the most vulnerable. So that's
yeah.
what gets me. Whereas the Callisto Protocol, I didn't find too scary. There was a jump scare that caught me completely off guard. Uh, and I hate the developers for doing it because like you just don't expect a jump scare, and it happened. I was just there like, okay, all right, you win. But that was a
Right.
fun game, and I platinumed that as
Yeah.
well. And another game I platinumed, last one for me, Gran Turismo 7. You all know I love my racing games. I'm fully into F1. But Gran Turismo 7. It's not as difficult as Gran Turismo Sport. But it was still a long grind. And I love racing. That's all I have to say for that.
Yeah. Well, I got a question for you. How many platinums did you get this year? Because you keep saying platinum this, platinum that. How many did you get this year? Do you know?
Well, it's lucky that the PlayStation wrap up, which again, let us know in the comments about your statistics from the wrap up or the Xbox year in review. We would love to hear them. Or you could even email us. The email will be in the description. Email us like a screenshot. Share it with us. We would love to see it. And maybe we even
Right.
comment about some of them in the next podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know how many. Do you want to guess? Then I'll say if you're high or too low. Make it a little bit of a game.
For sure. 32.
Lower.
Lower? Okay. 20.
Higher.
21?
Yes.
Nice.
I got 21 platinums. And that's
Well,
9 plus 10. Um okay. Oh my goodness, it took him so long. Oh my goodness. Okay. I see how it is.
Like,
You're
yeah,
just not
that
one.
I mean that's a pull. That's a pull though.
Yeah,
That's a long time ago.
yeah. So 21
Rest in
platinums.
peace. Rest in peace, mine. Um, yeah, I think I got like 3 this year. I started out the year kind of doing some platinum stuff. I got well, it was when MLB 23 came out because I played just a bunch of MLB 23 and I got really close to the platinum, so I was like, I may as well complete it. And then I went
Mhm.
back to 22 and 21 and got both of those.
Yep.
And then I got platinum. Oh, in Hunt Showdown, I finally went back and
Yep.
did the quick play in Hunt and finally got the
Yes.
platinum in that. So I got 4 this year.
I mean, I could quickly go through my list. Ghost of Tsushima was my most recent. The Callisto Protocol, again, mentioned back in October. And then all the games that I played on my birthday, Paw Patrol, My Little Pony, PJ Masks, My Peppa Pig. Again, I was playing them to platinum them.
Okay.
And that's why I played them on my birthday. Funny thing, I would never play those games at any other point. Another game that I mentioned, Ape Escape, was my easiest. Platinum that. That took 6 hours. Gran Turismo 7, PJ Tour. Again, most of the games I've mentioned. Operation Tango. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's a co-op game, so you are one of you is a like agent, and one of you is a hacker.
Okay.
So one of you is in
Okay.
person, and the other person's like controlling like the security cameras, turning off doors and stuff like that, and just like tell you when to go and stuff.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, that was a really fun game. I platinumed it with Beth actually. So played that one. Stray. Um, played the PS4 version. So again, platinum that. Maquette, which is, have you heard of Maquette?
No.
It is like a puzzle game. So in the middle, you've got a smaller version of the world,
Okay.
and then like you've got objects that are in your world. You place them in the middle, and they will get bigger or smaller. I'm pretty sure I can't remember which way round is, but if like you put a big thing into like the small thing, it'll get even
Hmm.
bigger in your world. So like if you had like a small set of stairs in the main world, you put it into the smaller world, and then suddenly you've got a passageway. It was like really good.
Gotcha.
Like
Yeah.
at one point you had like this massive key. I was like, how on earth do I get a small version? I dropped it on the ground, went to the small version, picked up that key, opened the door. I was like, that's how you do it. It was so
That's
good.
yeah.
And there's
That
like
sounds
different
good.
areas. It's definitely one for the brain. Um,
Yeah.
and to platinum, you need to do each stage in a certain amount of time. So obviously
Oh, gotcha.
in the first playthrough, you know, you you're going around trying to figure things out. In the second one, bang, you
Yeah.
kind of remember.
Right.
Another platinum that I should have done ages ago, Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
I put that platinum off for so long. That one took me 9 months.
Wow.
I already played the game on a different account, didn't platinum it on that account. Um, yeah, played Watch Dogs. One of the easiest games to platinum, Astro's Playroom. If you haven't done
Yeah.
that, have you done it?
No.
Oh, mate, it's a nostalgia tour. If you've played like PS1, PS2, PS3 games, like it's
Hmm.
very nostalgic. Really like that game. Again, it's really simple. The next two are auto pops, which I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
I auto pop Rogue Company and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So basically, I uploaded my PS4 save data, downloaded the
Hmm.
PS5 game, boom. That's I.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I got 2 platinums by doing that. So it would be 19, but let's not talk about that. Um, the next two are F1 games. So I platinumed F1 Manager 22 and F1 22. So yeah, the racing games, fun.
Yeah.
Gotta go
You like
fast.
your racing?
Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I did a massive stream. I did 12 hours and then 12 hours again. And I was like, oh, can I beat this game in 24 hours?
Oh,
Because
gotcha.
the time to beat was 24 hours.
Okay.
Fortunately, I didn't do it in the time limit. I had to do another stream.
Oh,
Uh, it was one trophy that took me 5 hours. Like I was on time, but it was a time trial. You had to do. There was like 12 different stages of the time trial that you had to do individually. And at the end, they were randomized and put into one.
oh no.
You got to do it without dying and under a certain time.
Ugh. No.
So many deaths.
Yeah.
Um, in the end, I completed with like 3 minutes to spare. It was
Oh.
the last stage give you so much of your time back because there was clocks that like reduced your time or added
Hmm.
time on. I can't remember which way it was. Like I think it was reduced
Yeah.
because it was counting up and you got like minus 10 seconds. Um,
Gotcha.
so yeah, it could have just took my time. So there was many times where I got to the end pretty much and I was like, I died. I was like, no,
Yeah.
I just wanted to cry. And then start the year, platinum Hogwarts Legacy, Mass Effect. And that was it. Mass Effect was my first platinum of the year.
That's fair. And somehow forgot to mention that I did platinum Mortal Kombat 1. So um I
How'd you forget
I, I
the
don't
most
know.
fun game that you've
Well,
played?
because I think it's because at the beginning when the game first dropped, I wanted to go for platinum, but you physically couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the trophies is you have to defeat they're called a champion in invasions, and it's like a 3 day limited thing at the end of a season. So I had to wait till the end of the season, and then I wasn't really around to play, so I got to it like at the very end. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it wasn't like something that I included in like right when I got the game because that was another day one purchase for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I did platinum it, so I have not platinum Spider-Man 2 yet. I'm gonna go back eventually and do it. But
Yeah, Spider-Man's are always like a really not easy at times because they're kind of tedious with the amount of collectibles. Um,
right,
but yeah, go have fun.
yeah, I
Um,
say this Spider-Man 2, I only have like combat stuff to do, like oh, defeat 50 enemies with this ability. Like that's the only stuff I gotta do. So it's
mhm.
tedious stuff that I find tedious. I'd rather do collectibles than like combat challenges, but it is what it is.
That again makes a lot of sense. There's a tons of games that I've left like mostly done.
Yeah,
That I need to go back to. So I Crash Bandicoot 2. Again, that's been on my like playing it, doing some time trials, then stop playing it and doing it again.
yeah.
F123 I need to get back into, but some of the trophy that's scaring me the most is you need to get into the highest division in ranked.
Oh,
I know, and I play by controller, so like you've got to play so much F1, and
yeah.
the tracks change weekly. So like if it's Monaco, that have you seen the Monaco racetrack? It's really
No,
narrow and it's chaos. Yeah, I don't think I'd enjoy it. Um,
that'll be in a podcast of its own, trophies and like the online trophies like that are locked behind being like a certain level of good at the game.
yeah,
We'll talk about it, but yeah.
1000%. Definitely a podcast. And if you want to hear that topic, follow, subscribe. We will do it one day. We have a list of 80 that we've thought of. Again, if you're in the Discord, which isn't available to everyone yet, early access is still undergoing. We'll open up the Discord in 2024. But those who have access, you can suggest topics. And again, in 2024, we'll also discuss how the people who are having free access can gain access to the suggestions in the early access thing as well. We thought of a plan, but we will discuss that in 2024.
Hmm.
Yeah, just to go over some other games that I could have platinum this year, which are on hold. Spirit of the North. Um,
What
it's
is
a
that?
he plays a fox.
Oh,
It's a really cute game.
I think I've seen that.
I played it back in 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
And I went back to 2021, and I went back to it to try and platinum it. And I'm on 20 out of 25.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm so close. I think there's like 3 more acts that I need to just get all the collectibles, and I've platinumed it.
Okay.
So I need to stop being lazy.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, get yourself that platinum.
mhm. And then there's like Battlefield 1 that I need to get the platinums for, which I played this year. Mass Effect 2, which I started and didn't finish, and Cyberpunk. So they're the ones I need to get into the act and get them platinumed.
Yeah. Well,
I think that is all for this episode on our year in review. I hope you all enjoyed. Again, if you did, like, comment, subscribe, follow if you're on Spotify for more podcasts that are out weekly. Are we going to do Mondays? Because we obviously
I,
uploaded this one on Monday. Well,
yeah,
last.
I think so. I think we'll stick with the Monday uploads.
Good way to start the week. Work week. You're going to work if you're in America. Put the podcast on because we upload it pretty early on a Monday,
Yeah.
so it's like prime time for people who are in work in America. For those in the UK and elsewhere, probably Tuesday is probably prime time for you to listen to it on the way to work or whenever. Because again, a podcast, you don't have to be there live. You can listen to it at any point, and that's why I
Right.
wanted to make a podcast. It's
Yeah.
different to my live content, which we'll talk about in a second when we talk about our own socials.
hmm
It's just different. It can be listened to. You can join along, collaborate with us on the YouTube side of things in the Discord when it's free. Um,
I mean, you're nailing it. It's pretty much just their socials. Like, I mean, where can we find you, Grub?
so you can find me at Grubb Plays on both YouTube and Twitch. This time they will be in the description. Last time I had to wait for YouTube and Google to authenticate the channel. I needed to send
Right.
in my ID so that they give us the advanced features of links in description, which
Yeah.
we recorded the podcast and then they were like, I went on to the sends. I was like, I've promised links in description and I can't put them in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
apologies for lying. Like we lied a lot last podcast. Holy.
My God. Yeah. My bad with misremembering the girl's name from it. It's Beverly. It's not Barb. That's the Stranger Things character, which we did talk about.
Mhm.
And then also we did have someone in the early access Discord inform us that we were a little, I guess, misinformed about the sign language thing. There, it does vary country to country, which is it's cool to learn that.
Yep.
So yeah, yeah, we are we're working
We
through it.
we are
We'll start doing better.
learning. We are
Yeah,
learning with you. We will try not
yeah,
to lie. Again, don't cancel us. I promise we'll be more reliable in the future. But no, Ace, where can we find you?
Main thing, just Twitter at AceTurtle7. That's a big one. And then also IGN.com/playlist/AceTurtle, like no underscores, no spaces. That's where you can like log your games, that kind of thing. I'm starting to do more in-depth reviews of the games that I'm playing, and like you can see what I am playing, what I'm planning on playing, what I have wish listed. You can see all that. So that's the main one I'm pushing right now. So
Okay.
yeah.
You'll have to send me that because there's no way I'm remembering that for the description. There is no way. And if you want to know more about the podcast, you can find us at PowerUp Podcasts on Twitter. Again, it'll be in the description. We've had to do it as PWR. So if you want to search, feel free. I'll have all the links for the podcast in the description to make it a lot easier for you all to find. Because, again, someone's took Power Podcast, man. And they don't even use the account. So, thank you all
Yeah.
for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure. Again, we went past episode 1. It's official.
Woo-hoo.
You know, episode 2. We're here. We're here. And it's going to be weekly. So, thank you all. And hope you enjoy. See you next week.
Peace out.